Hello, welcome to the Trauma Bond with Theresa Bateman podcast. Thank you for being here. I'm your host, Theresa Bateman, and every week I'm going to sit down with a member of my creative community to discuss our traumas, big and small. From the petty to the PTSD to the punchlines of our best jokes, the issues of today, our triggers of the week, and our most problematic opinions, and ultimately how we find the funny in the bad shit that's happened to us. In the end, we'll form a lasting bond. A trauma bond. Sit back, listen, and bond with us, won't you?
And light another dude, cause it's what? It's time to trauma bond, 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 bond. It's time to trauma bond, 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 bond. It's time to trauma bond, 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 bond. It's time to trauma bond, 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 bond.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Trauma Bond with Theresa Bateman. Today, I am honored to be joined by writer and performer raised and based in Los Angeles. She is transgender, intersex, and neurodivergent. Her comedy has been featured on Amazon Prime and at live shows and festivals across North America. She provides liberation-focused psychotherapy free of cost to transgender, gender-expansive, and intersex folks across the state of California through the Transgender Health and Wellness Center. Lord knows we need it now more than ever. Please join me in welcoming Lena Morgana.
Oh my God, it's me.
Yay, it's you.
Yay.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good.
Yeah.
It's really great to see you, and
It's
it's
so nice to see you. It's been so long.
It's been so long. Yeah, I last time I saw you was a whole gender ago for me. And
Yeah.
a whole pandemic ago.
Oh
and
my
at
God.
least like 2 or 3 existential crises ago for me.
Such a great way to measure time. How many
Yeah.
existential crises
How
you've had
many?
since the last time we saw each other.
Yeah. It's really the only way. I
It's
think.
really the only way. It's like, and how could you not? Everything, I feel like, since
Nothing's okay.
nothing's
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
nothing's okay.
nothing's okay. And it's so funny. I was just like mentioning to a coworker came up to me earlier this week to be like, how are you? And I was like, oh, getting through another day.
Yeah.
Everything's crumbling and bad.
Yeah.
And she was just like, yeah, I just keep trying to remind myself that it's okay. Things aren't okay. And I was like, it's kind of not okay.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, I'm real caught up on the everyone here pretending everything is okay
Right.
when everything's not okay. That's the
Yeah.
weird part, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, if you are choosing to read the news and feel okay after doing so, um uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Something's not going okay up
You're
in your brain.
You're part of the problem, maybe a little
Yeah.
bit. You need to
Yeah.
do some reflecting.
Yeah.
Speaking of how everything is fucking horrible, do you have anything in particular in the array of horrific things that you might consider to be your personal trigger of the week? Things that are really pissing you off, upsetting you. I mean,
You
there's
mean
so much
other
to choose from.
than the fact that everyone is a rape or murderer?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. Yeah.
other than that,
Other than that little tiny thing.
that's like the big T trauma of
Yeah.
like, yeah, everything is just, I feel like, and I'm taking my like therapist hat off for this episode,
Yeah.
because Lord knows even therapists need a break. And I'm just gonna, be playful and silly. So, if you're listening and you're looking for a therapist, know that I don't talk like this when I'm holding space for a client, but I feel like I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
And partly because with everything between just like immigrants being detained and murdered and all of the Epstein files coming out and just all of the details that are lifting the veil on what we already know to be true about like the inherent violent nature of American culture and history. I keep vacillating between feeling powerless and hopeless and then being like, but you know what? The center cannot hold. Like, this is good. People need to see this and wake up. Like,
Yes.
surely it can't get worse than this before something like some sort of seismic sea change happens
Yeah.
societally. But then I ping pong back to well, but we did knowingly reelect a pedo rapist
Right.
president. So like things could just keep getting worse.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's really it's the mm, flip-flopping mentally between like I have to hold on to hope. Why would I want to hold on to hope? That's foolish. That makes me feel really crazy.
Yeah, that's
Um
so real. I think many people listening will, I mean, if not everyone, will relate to that sentiment. I know that I do. I personally feel like pretty much exactly the same on a daily, and it's really hard to have those swings happen on like a daily basis because at once I'm with you and I'm like hell I'm so in my day job I'm so having to dissociate and be in the company of people who will not acknowledge what's happening except for like a trusted few people I talk to on
right.
a personal level, and then being and feeling insane and being like, we need to shut this down, why
Mhm.
aren't we doing more,
Right.
what's it going to take, what's it going to fucking take.
Yeah.
And then also knowing that my own personal communities outside of that space are the literally are the change that I want to see in the world,
Mhm.
the people who are building the world that I hope will come into existence after this heinous period.
Mhm.
And I see goodness in so many spaces, and I see such beautiful community in so many different spaces that I'm like, we have to figure this out. I think there is, in terms of the knowingly reelecting this child rapist, horrific, like in every way imaginable person, I do think so much of that was a result of um international interference,
Mhm.
bots. There's so
Gerrymandering and
yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's
Mhm.
so many things that contributed to that, and I even think that while I'm past the point of necessarily not that I was ever really excusing people who voted for Trump, but just more so understanding that certain communities who did were ignorant
Mhm.
to all of the horrific stuff and really were just craving change outside the status quo. And while it is fucked and not okay that it wasn't a deal breaker for them that so many different marginalized communities would be targeted by this person,
Mhm.
it is still one of those things where I'm like, I do ultimately think more of us want agree on the big issues,
Mhm.
and or the things that they're trying to make these communities like get up in arms about, they don't actually care about.
No.
They're just following the latest reason why they're maybe not getting as much money as they wish they were to like live their lives. It's
Yeah.
all very like it's exhausting
Yeah.
to say the very fucking least, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Scapegoating as a political strategy is corny and
Mhm.
embarrassing and tired.
Yeah.
I'm really tired of it. It's like get more creative. It's not it's yeah,
It
not to be like it reminds me of this critical theorist, but Hannah Arendt's like banality of evil
mhm.
spiel. I feel like there's a lot of which I guess is kind of another way of saying like hypernormalization. Like I don't know. I just it's not even evil in an interesting way, or maybe I just have to dissociate when everything is an atrocity all the time.
Right, that
But
too.
the lower case T trigger of the week was actually getting ready to come here because I was nervous and
Oh,
excited to see
oh my
you because it's
God.
been
It's been so truly been
years and
years.
like I wanted to save some of our catching up for like on air and also just let the conversation flow organically, but
Yeah.
I've literally just like a month and a half ago graduated from grad school and had
Mhm.
spent the last 2 years like hunched over my computer working on my master's degree in clinical psychology with a specialization in LGBT affirming psychology
Mhm.
and working as a therapist trainee and at a telehealth site. So I feel like I just I don't know, like lockdown ended right as I was starting grad school basically, uh and I just kind of stayed indoors. And
Yeah.
so I feel like it's like I'm just emerging uh from inside and
Mm-hmm.
learning how to like socialize again.
Yeah.
And I I stopped doing stand up for the last few years, and I really miss being in community with
Yeah.
people, with you,
Yeah.
with all the people that, you know, we spent the 2010s with. And yeah, I had a moment last night where I was like, my partner was consoling me, and I was just like, what if I'm not funny anymore? And
Oh
what if all I
no.
know how to talk about is like really heavy, serious stuff? Um, but no, I'm still a
You're
silly
still a silly
goose.
goose. You don't
Yeah,
lose that. It's been a really fucking rough. I mean, it's been a rough several years.
yeah,
It's only been getting like it's understandable. I also have taken a big break from stand up the last I feel like over the last 2 years I've performed very sporadically and I've gone long stretches of like nearly a year without doing like a real full actual set. So I'm with you, and there's a lot I don't miss about that community, but there's a lot I also do miss. And so I'm with you in the feeling of like I am sort of just kind of feeling like I'm fully re-emerging as my actual self, full self.
yeah.
I feel like COVID, we were inside, there was a lot of reflection happening, and there was also a lot of trauma
And a lot
happening.
of, yeah, dissociating. And
Yeah.
we're gonna one of the few things I take comfort in uh about having just like devoted several years of my life to just being in school, like learning how to become a therapist, is there's not going to be a lack of need for those anytime soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we're going to for sure be dealing with this for the rest of our life. And
Mhm.
um I don't know, we're millennials, so like you probably remember 9/11 from
Yeah.
childhood.
Yeah.
But like I feel like, and maybe if I was an adult when 9/11 had happened I would feel different, but I do feel like this is so much more impactful because it's not an isolated incident of violence or death. It was a worldwide um traumatizing
Yeah.
event, and everyone was affected and experienced it differently and was affected differently, and everyone grieves differently
Yeah.
as is. And so we're all going to just be dealing with how this impacted us for the rest of our lives. And I do think that I hope, yeah, I'm curious to see how in 10, 20 years time people talk about, like, you know, we joke now almost like, we, you know, 9/11 jokes are like, I feel like very much a like Bush did 9/11 was very much like an alt comedy
Yes.
hack punchline of the 2010s. But like
It's
we
so
joke about
much.
like you never forget and do you remember where you were when. But I really am going to be curious to actually want to know, like, where were you, what was your life like, what sort of transformation or like things did you go through during this chapter of world history.
Yeah, it's wild because it's also like such a there's just been so many mass traumatized. Obviously COVID was like a huge one that I agree. I don't think we're even going to start to really like fully understand how we've been affected by that for a while,
Hmm.
because especially we just kind of like they went right into okay, back to work
Right.
too soon because of all the movements that were popping off after
Hmm.
the murder of George Floyd and Black Lives Matter protests popping up across the nation, and they were like, we don't want this.
Yeah,
So
don't let the
actually,
people feel too aware of what's going on, or
exactly, and now they have
too
nothing but
empowered.
time to
Right.
that's what they can spend their time doing. Actually, let's maybe open all the things back up even though it's premature.
Yeah.
So and then since then obviously between Trump and then Biden and then Trump again and the genocide in Gaza and all of the continuation of murder by the police towards marginalized communities, especially the Black community in the United States, and now with ICE. It's just like, it's just been really like nonstop. And none of our nervous systems have been able to really reset in real ways, which
Yeah.
is, it's really fucking hard. It's and that's why I'm trying, like, whenever I get frustrated, like, ugh, why am I not like my 2019 self?
Yes.
It's like, well, girl, you're literally never going to be your 2019
Never.
self again, and that's okay. And how can we just integrate everything as best we can, given that we're also still expected to perform under psychotic
Right.
circumstances?
It's couldn't agree with you more. That, I mean, that's kind of some of the emotions that were coming up last night when I was getting ready for today, which I was really looking forward to, but also like uh, I think one of the side effects for me of just how the last, you know, 5 to 7 years have played out is like I view my 20s now as this time of like real like innocence and naivete, even though I
Yeah,
was like I think mature for my age. I also like I don't know. I feel like I feel broken sounds like melodramatic, but I feel altered in ways that that don't really have a say in. And the work now, I think, like you said, to your point, is like about integrating and like accepting and
yeah,
creating something new.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, one thing that comes up all the time working in mental health is like, um, no amount of like cognitive behavioral tools or like therapy homework assignments are designed to um teach someone how to like function under these circumstances. And
yeah,
having I just keep having conversations with people about how like you're having a normal reaction
yeah.
to completely abnormal circumstances. And then the irony, of course, of like I can hear myself say it all day long and know that it's true, but I still need someone to hold that mirror up to me and
Of
be like, "Hey,
course.
Lena, when was the last time you gave yourself some grace?" Or
Yeah.
like practice some radical acceptance or radical like self-care and rest and um yeah.
And I don't think most of us really know how to rest.
Mm,
It's hard to know how to rest. And like what you're saying, in needing people to hold that mirror up to you, I think that makes total sense. We're all so conditioned from truly from birth to be so hard on ourselves and to perform at our highest productivity. Our value is measured both in productivity and in our physical appearance. Like
mhm,
those are like the two main things in this version of society that we live in that are what is considered to be our biggest i- sources of self-worth.
right.
So of course, even if you know things logically, it's hard to know it in your body. And that's where, I was thinking about going back to school to become a therapist, and I still am. I'm like, that's something I've been thinking about, talking to people about for years now, ever since I got laid off from my last job. I've been laid off 3 times in the fucking media industry, and
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I was like, ugh, I think I just need to do something that I actually would enjoy, even
Mhm,
though any job is going to, at the end of the day, feel like a job when you have to like do it so many hours of the week to
mhm,
just survive. It's still like I would rather be connecting with people than sitting in front of a computer, sending files around all fucking day and sending emails.
yeah.
But
If he well, just put a pin in that for a second to shamelessly plug being a therapist. If you think you might be a good therapist, I'm speaking to you, listener, too. Uh, look into that. Like,
yeah,
we need you. We need you.
yeah.
And we need, like, yeah, if you think you might be a good therapist, you probably either would be a terrible therapist or you'd be a really good therapist. I've met two kinds of people
Yeah, of
in grad
course.
school, and
Makes sense.
I think you find out pretty quickly. But if you have that intuitive feeling, and knowing you, I think you'd be an amazing therapist. There
Thank
is,
you.
despite there being per capita, like California has one of the highest like rates of therapy licensure. I was about to say like rates of like murder, crime, being a therapist,
Oh,
the
yeah.
major three
The
categories.
classics.
But yeah, like there are a shit ton of therapists in California, but Los Angeles County, for example, is designated a mental health professional shortage area,
Oh, wow.
which means that amongst other things, like there's a lot of grants and um, fellowships and scholarships and massive California state-based loan forgiveness programs. Like there's a lot of opportunities, and there's a lot of people that need mental health support, and a lot of people that yeah, I think should explore that. Anyway,
Yes.
it's it's the best pyramid scheme in town. As someone who grew up here, who worked in the entertainment industry for many years, as a day job, like I love that I get to enjoy entertainment as entertainment now.
Yeah,
And
that's because I will say working in entertainment has ruined. I barely ever go to the movies anymore. I don't really watch TV. It's really kind of ruined it for me. What I've been doing instead of going back to school for therapy is this podcast because I feel like it's a version
it's
of
therapeutic.
that. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it obviously. But I do also have these feelings of like, yes, I mean, like in the current state of things, I know therapy is necessary, but I also do believe so wholeheartedly that true healing happens in community.
100%.
And so then I get into these like webs of thoughts of like all these things that exist that are so legitimately helpful for people also
Are gate
are
kept?
they're gate kept, but
Mm-hmm.
they're also tools of capitalism in a
Mm-hmm.
way where it's like, well, you're just helping people feel like it's an individual problem and not you or like I know that
I'm
there
the
are
one
people
exception.
I
Yeah.
know there are people and my therapist included who are very passionate like and agree with the
Mm.
things I'm saying and are trying to be that change in that
Yeah.
world but yeah I think so much of it is pathologized as like oh you're having a hard time in this individual way dealing with things that are systemic issues and
Mm-hmm.
most of the issues people feel would not be a thing were we to just put all our energy into fucking changing the
Right.
system. But
Yeah.
it's obviously it takes we need a lot
We
of
need a
things.
lot. And one-on-one talk therapy is just one tool. Like
Yeah.
I think that I've been working exclusively with the queer community at the Trans Health and Wellness Center, and I think that there's for every type of person out there, there's a different modality of psychotherapy,
Mhm.
and I personally am only if clients like come to me with like a specific interest in like I want you to like call me out and hold me accountable and like help me like be action oriented, like that's cool, there's tools for that.
Mhm.
But more often than not, I think that the rewarding work in therapy happens when um both as like a therapy client and as a therapist, when an experience is shared between like therapist and client that that instills some new mm, feeling or sense of trust in relating, in being vulnerable, that can then be taken out into the world and practiced. Like
Mhm.
um it's so much. Yeah, healing happens in community, healing happens relationally.
Yes,
And
relationally. That's
group
yes.
therapy is amazing.
Yes.
I was in a group therapy group at the Los Angeles LGBT Center that met on Zoom every Monday for like 3 years. That was it was for like queer folks who are interested in talking about like polyamory, CNM, and other forms of non-monogamy. And those people, like when I joined the group, it was a pilot program to see if there was like interest and need from the
Mhm.
community. And not to brag, but like the pilot program was so successful because everyone in my group was so like engaged and intentional and thoughtful and diverse. And we the pilot program was so successful they created a new group for us to like show up to long term that lasted like 3 years. Most people continued to come back every week for 3 years, and
Mm-hmm.
some of those people are like family to me now.
Yeah.
And now they have rolling short term like poly CNM like psychoeducation support groups at the LGBT center. Um, that that group helped me feel and stay sane
Yeah.
through the last 5 years. And ironically, like we ended up, even though all of us had either practiced or were practicing some form of like consensual non monogamy, like talking about CNM was only maybe like a third of what we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was, when the most recent round of attacks on Palestine started happening, one of our members' families was directly affected, and we spent a lot of weeks just like processing and grieving and witnessing. And it was just such a it just so happened that because all of us, despite very different like relationship backgrounds and identities, we had this shared kind of value set in, open and honest communication and like being in community together,
Mm-hmm.
which meant that the group felt super safe.
Yeah, it's just so important. That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love to hear that. I have also done group therapy before, and I found it helpful, though at the time the therapist I was with was not the
Iffy.
best. Yeah, she was iffy, but I did like I was surprised by, and then, since then, and since the pandemic, I've been in multiple like different 12-step pro
Mm-hmm.
spaces.
We share some of, yeah,
Yeah.
we
So,
share
and
some of
like some
those.
of the most meaningful healing I feel I've had in like my entire journey of since starting therapy and having awareness of like trying to be helping my own mental health
Mm-hmm.
was in this ACA group that I did, where we were able to witness I
Mm.
feel like it is we don't talk enough as societally or whatever about the power of just being witnessed in your pain
Yes.
or whatever you're going through, just to have people not try to
Not try to
fix
fix
it,
it, not try
change
to like
it.
shove a handkerchief in your hand, just
Yeah,
letting you
just
cry
letting you
is
cry.
radical.
It really is, and it's changed things for me on like a fundamental level, and I that's why like anytime I have the chance, if I'm able to, encourage people to do things like that, I'm like I swear it really just helps so much to be able to say a thing, and no one's trying to tell you what to do, no one's trying to fix you, no one's trying to fix the situation. Everyone's just acknowledging or holding the space for you to feel your feelings in community.
Mm-hmm.
And and then also, and in things like 12 step, when all or group therapy where there are people who are there for you for similar reasons, being able to hear your story from somebody else is also
Yes.
so meaningful and
Yeah.
healing, outside of that like, one-to-one talk therapy relationship where you can maybe like psychoanalyze yourself or understand where certain things come from. It's like really helps you understand you are not alone, and that
Yeah.
it is not a you problem, and that this is like things that are part of life, or that other people go through too. It's just
Yeah.
really so incredible.
Yeah. I've been in 12 step programs for over 15 years, and particularly in like fellowships around recovering from being an adult child of like alcoholism or family
Yeah.
dysfunction.
Yeah.
There's so I'm in other 12 step programs that like absolutely saved my life, but the literature for them was written almost 100 years ago,
Yeah.
and it's like hyper gendered,
So
like
gendered.
there's a chapter called To Wives about like, ladies, when your man is a businessman but he has a drinking problem, don't pester him too much. If you want him to get sober, here's how you can be supportive.
Yeah.
Like just so like
Because
old
Al-Anon was
timey.
started by wives
By
of alcoholic
Yeah,
husbands. It's
it's
just, it's
so
all very gendered. There is a lot of That's why I have to very much like take what you like and leave the rest in
Mm-hmm.
those spaces with stuff like that.
But I love that in like ACOA or other more recent fellowships, the literature is, some of it is entirely gender neutral, and
Mm,
it's just like the other thing is like, mm, AA was founded, and I'm a big fan of AA. It doesn't work for everyone. But to your point, like taking what you like and leaving the rest, there's an AA group for every type of person. There are AA groups for atheists. You know, a lot of people are
mm,
like, well, I'm not religious or I'm not spiritual, so like I'm not gonna do a 12-step
yeah.
program. It's like, you're not that special. Go to the group of atheists in AA. Like there's every type of affinity group
Yes.
imaginable. Like, but the literature again for that program was radical for its time, absolutely. It also was written in the 1930s, and PTSD wasn't even a diagnosis yet.
Yeah.
And so like more more recent programs that are about healing from trauma as opposed to healing from like a compulsive behavior that is maybe like a coping mechanism, are all informed by what we understand in like modern times to be the link between like the brain and body and trauma,
Yeah.
and it just feels a lot more holistic and a lot more rooted not just in spirituality but in like a really practical application of what little we do understand about the mind and body and trauma.
Yeah. God, I love to hear um the holistic view. I'm like, it's so weird how we've chopped all these different areas of our one body as though they're like not connected to each
Right.
other. I feel like a holistic approach is like so important. And that's why I'm such a fan of like in terms of healing modalities too, just physical movement like dance. Dance has been
Mm,
such a huge part of my healing journey too because there's so much
yes.
that you just can't talk about anymore. You have to both feel and also move the shit
Yeah,
around and out of your body.
absolutely.
Um okay, I'm going to ask you a
Yes.
question. Okay, can you think of a time? I feel like we got so into therapy land and I
I know.
love it, but I'm like, okay, wait, I have
Yeah.
questions I have to ask you. Can you think of a time where you were in like a group setting or a party where you had a story that you swore was gonna like kill and make everybody laugh, but it actually made everybody like, wait, girl, are you okay? That's kind of
um
like fucked up.
Yeah, most of my life, I think it's like the probably why I'm a comedian is because um the joke didn't land. And that's like the core one of the core wounds is like, wait, no, I'll show you. I swear I'm funny.
Yeah.
I mean, one that comes to mind that I don't know. When I think about jokes not landing because people think it's like way too heavy, I'm kind of, especially in the context of stand-up comedy, I think about how like people, when people get real quiet when you say a joke that's like about taboo or rough subject matter, but the joke is solid, like the joke structure is
Mhm.
solid. I'm like, that's on you, audience. Like you're
Yeah.
just not you just can't
Yeah.
handle that.
Yeah.
Obviously blaming the audience isn't really going to win them over usually.
Yeah.
But I remember like Beth Stelling was working out material for like one of her like specials 7 8 years ago, and was like, she'd started being open about surviving sexual assault, and she was
Mhm.
doing really funny material about it.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing her do a show and the audience like could not handle it. And I just I'm like, y'all, it's okay. Like the comedian is giving you permission to laugh with her, and
Exactly.
if you're not, like, what's going on with you?
Right. Like,
Um
ooh.
but I think there's a lot. It's truly wild that I'm alive today given some of the stuff that I like survived growing up, and a lot of it was so normalized, especially the like the psychological and emotional chaos in my family. Uh, I remember telling people when I was in high school, oh yeah, I had a very fused and meshed relationship with my biological mom. I think we have a lot in
Mhm.
common in the like had a very young mom who was like not ready to be an adult or parent type situation.
I mean, my mom wasn't young when she had me, but
Mm,
she's like emotionally a child.
yeah,
There's a lot of, yeah. Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
When they're not mature, whether it's because of age or
age
just
or just
emotional maturity
development.
or
Yeah,
development, it's really rough.
and yeah, thank God for therapy. It took years of therapy for me to realize like, oh, like this is called emotional incest. This is
Yeah.
called parentification. And
Yeah.
um I was very much like I was an only child, so when we talk about like parts work and therapy, like I was all of the part. I was like in the family system, like I was the mascot and the scapegoat and the
Mhm.
golden child and the black sheep. Um but yeah, I'm thinking particularly of like I thought it was really funny at the time that my mom started having an affair with this guy that she met on World of Warcraft who is half her age,
Oh my god.
and telling my friends like, yeah, and she like told me, and she was like, but you can't tell anyone that this is happening, this is just between you and me.
Oh
And everyone
god.
just being like,
Yeah.
um
Wait a minute.
uh are you okay? And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, totally. It's just crazy, right? It's
This
so
is
funny.
so
My
funny.
mom's like so kooky. Yeah, yeah.
It's so, because that's where for and honestly with
Oh, here's the real punchline.
oh, please.
Uh, they're now married.
Oh my god.
Yep. Yeah, they're now married, living happily ever after.
It really does. And see, that's where the systems we live within, the normalization of certain things, it's
Mm-hmm.
like that's how I used to talk about the whole dynamic of my parents, which
Mm,
is something that's been coming up a lot in the wake of the Epstein files is
mm,
I am the product of pedophilia,
mm,
quite frankly. And so it's really but I used to be like, ha ha ha, my dad was 21 years older than my mom and he was a teacher at her high school. Isn't that so crazy? But it's like as an adult, the older I get, being like, and
yeah,
it is still a thing that will get a shock value, like, ah, and I think also just because we do live in a culture where so much is based around pedophilia.
yeah.
Um, that it is so normalized that people don't, but sometimes people are like, and then it took like, wait, that's interest what?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, oh, and then I've had to like really, and it used to be such a thing I leaned on to instant, and I still do have material about it, but it's a little bit more aware now
Mm-hmm.
of like, wait, that's actually fucked up. My mom
Mm-hmm.
was literally a teenager. My dad
Yeah,
was a teacher who was damn near 40 and she
right.
was a teenager
Yeah,
and like he was married. And there's
yeah.
just like so many little factors, but then also holding but I loved my dad. And when he was here and alive, he was a good dad to me. And then I'm obviously still very affected by his death and very sad about it, but also he was a predator.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? It's just, yeah, I
And
don't
the
know. So
yeah.
your mom just finding someone half her age in a world of war, but then that also goes back to like the emotional immaturity thing too. Is
Mm-hmm.
like I do believe part of it is these people are so stunted.
Yeah.
Not always, obviously many of them are fucking monsters, but people are emotionally stunted and then they're finding people who are like at their level emotionally
Mm,
too.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's complicated.
I think that there's yeah, rape culture is rape culture is synonymous with white supremacy, settler colonialism,
Yeah.
like uh, all the isms. It's all the same thing. It's
Yeah.
like fear-based obsession with power and dominance.
Yeah.
And hurt people.
Mhm.
And yeah, I hear you about like the work of holding the complexity of people and healing from family system stuff where it's like people can be more than one, just one thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that I forget what I was. It was oh my gosh, what's his name? Mike Birbiglia. I saw him being interviewed talking about um the fact that like he realized at some point early on in his career that like his stand up, while very confessional, like had to by definition not be therapy because like therapy is a space for you to kind of just like dump all over someone and for
Yeah.
them to like hold space for you. But if someone's coming to see you perform, like your job is to offer something up to them. So like
Hmm.
no topic is off limits, but um ideally we've like arrived at some kind of like resolution or place of peace or place of like peace with what is irreconcilable
Yeah.
uh, before we, I don't know, make light of heavy stuff, which is maybe
Yeah.
the flip side of like that audiences maybe have their buttholes clenched too tight sometimes when it comes to taboo subject matter.
I definitely think so. I think everyone needs to loosen the fuck up.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know. I'd be telling some dark jokes and I'm like, wait, guys, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm telling you. I'm because I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm doing this thing for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you another question. Can you think of something that maybe felt traumatic when you were going through it in real time, but now that you're able to look back and laugh at it? And maybe how did you get to a place of being able to laugh at it?
Yeah. I was an undiagnosed, deeply autistic child, and or like what folks now call like 2E, twice exceptional. So I was like gifted, but also like a Tim Robinson sketch character where I just like I was so intense. I was such an intense weird kid.
Yeah.
So intense. Like did not have any friends
Oh.
until middle school. And I remember I was just so like between being like autistic, having sensory issues, having a lot of trauma when I was a kid, my nervous system was so jacked up and I was so hyper vigilant all the time. And I remember on the first day of middle school, I was sitting on the quad and there were like some eighth graders sitting next to me, a group of like eighth grade girls. And I heard one of them say something to the other, like, as a joke, we're like going around like flirting with the sixth graders, the new,
Mm-hmm.
the fresh meat, and I heard one of them say that, and then like a minute later one of them sidled up next to me and was like, hey.
Mm.
And immediately I was like, I don't fucking care what I'll fucking kill you. Who fuck you.
Oh my
You think you're cool?
God.
Like I don't even care about you just because you're in eighth grade, whatever. You don't matter at all. You're
Ooh.
nothing.
Oh,
It was like
oh no.
that person just quietly got up and walked away.
Oh
But I
my
was just like
God.
so ready to defend myself against like I just like yeah, I did not know how to have friends or be a normal person.
Yeah.
And I think I'm glad that I grew up in LA. I'm glad I like was able to go to like a performing arts magnet high school so
Yeah.
that because it feels like there is an alternate universe where I like grew up in the middle of nowhere and became like a incel,
Yeah.
like super dark trajectory.
Yeah.
But I'm glad basically like went to a magnet high school where all the weird kids had an outlet for their weirdness.
Yes. And thank God I also went to a performing arts high school. I did not know we had that in common. It is
Yes.
really such a specific experience.
Yeah.
But thank God for it. Because to be a teenager and maybe have been one of the weirdo kids, but
Mhm.
then you get to kind of be in a school full of weirdos instead of a school full of like jocks who are going to bully you.
Yeah.
What a gift.
The cool kids, which is like not how
It didn't work.
life works.
Yeah.
The cool kids at our high school were the leads
Yeah.
in the musicals. Like
Yes.
if you were in
Theater
the
kids.
musical, you were cool
Yep.
instead of like the quarterback or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Same here. Leads of the musical were the cool kids, or just like the visual artists who like smoked
Oh
cigarettes
yeah.
outside. It was like it's so funny. I'm like, yeah, my experience and our experience of high school was so specific and
Yeah.
non-typical for
Yeah.
America. Thank
Yeah. Thank God.
God. Truly, because who knows how we would have turned out
Yeah.
if not from a big city with an arts
Yeah.
community at like impressionable ages.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Thank-
Okay. Can you think of a time in your past where at the time things were happening, you thought you were fine and like behaving normally, but now you look back and you're like, oh, wow, no, I was actually really going through it?
Mm,
COVID?
my whole childhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's I feel like the uh work of the last 7 years of my life is emotionally, spiritually, and therapy has been like uncovering and moving through a lot of stuff that yeah, I just didn't recognize was harmful and grieving,
Yeah.
and it's very imperfect and messy and nonlinear. And yeah, I was I feel like my answer is kind of an extension of the last question, but I was just like I've done a lot of like inner child, inner teen like
Mm-hmm.
parts work, and I've done EMDR, which was really major and super healing for a few specific like acute traumatic memories. But getting in touch with the parts of myself that um deserve to have like peace and joy and like the freedom to play and express themselves that had to grow up really quickly.
Yeah.
um I also was just like, I don't know, in many ways I was always very like um intelligent, in part I think because I was like parentified, and so I like knew how to talk to adults way more than I knew how to talk to other kids my
Yeah.
age. But there was a lot that was suppressed, and I was like really kind of amazed to realize that like I literally actually had repressed memories because I thought that was something that just happened in like movies.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, doing like EMDR reprocessing work around those was a really like I'm really proud of myself for the ways that I've shown up for that work. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, God, I'm so interested in EMDR. I'd be curious, maybe even off the air to like ask you more
yeah,
about that. It's something I've been so curious about for so long, but have also been a little bit scared. I'm also like nervous I have repressed memories because I don't know, there's just certain things where I'm like, I had a very traumatic childhood where it was like kind of back to back, like from basically from the time I was maybe 6 or 7 till the time I was like 10. It was just like kind of an onslaught of like a
hmm,
lot of death, but also other things happening in my family. Um, so, and I already know that my memory is so blurry from those periods that I'm like curious what might be uncovered
yeah,
in EMDR. But also, I've heard pretty much everyone I know who has done it has had it like has said it is intense, but has had a good like healing experience from it overall. But my therapist, who I love, she is not a fan of EMDR. So I'm very like, wait a minute. I love
yeah,
Courtney and I trust her. And
yeah.
why doesn't she like it?
There's some really interesting critique of EMDR that I appreciate and find valuable. I'll I'll like share the link, and if you like it, you can like post it to the show notes, or just like I'd be curious to know what you think.
Hmm.
There's a podcast called Very Bad Therapy that's hosted by two therapists where they talk about like issues within the world of like psychology and behavioral health, and
Hmm.
they interviewed an EMDR therapist about EMDR and about the history of EMDR, and kind of to your earlier point about the way that this is really my like autism special interest is showing because I'm about to like dive balls deep into bolts and nuts. But in the to your earlier point about like the way that capitalism and consumerist culture is kind of at odds with healing in relation and in community. A lot of therapy modalities are trademarked, and for better and worse, like even once you're a licensed therapist, you have to go through, hundreds or thousands of hours of additional specialized certification to be a certified IFS therapist or a
Mm-hmm.
certified EMDR therapist. And there's good reason for that, like with EMDR, because you're like working through traumatic memories. You have you should be trained in how to resource your clients so that when and if they get triggered or stuff starts to kind of like come up to the surface that they weren't necessarily expecting, they have tools to regulate.
Yeah.
Because stuff will probably end up coming up outside of session. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it really like you start to open up a memory and like stuff comes flooding back that you weren't expecting. And
Yeah.
so there's important training around EMDR, which is that like before you ever start the EMDR part, like at first you're just being taught by the therapist how to access these like grounding and regulating techniques so that when you start the reprocessing, you have access to those tools. But in the podcast episode where they're kind of debunking like is EMDR like all it's cracked up to be,
Mm-hmm.
because it is evidence based, it is shown to um help people recover from symptoms of PTSD,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a trademarked therapy modality that you have to go to a special institute and pay a lot of money to get
Mm-hmm.
certified in. And the creator of EMDR insists that it is not exposure therapy because there's this bilateral stimulation element.
Mm-hmm.
But there is actually no significant like statistical difference between um, positive health outcomes between EMDR and other types of exposure therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't trademark or copyright or whatever uh, exposure therapy. You can do so for the bilateral stimulation.
Oh.
So it's like, that's an instance where, someone's profiting off of the thing that they quote unquote created,
Mm-hmm.
and that you have to like pay their organization and institute to like get certified in. But really the thing that is shown to be like demonstrably effective about it is the fact that you are reprocessing memories and doing so in a safe container with tools to ground yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. Once we're
Was
later, I'm
that
gonna.
boring? Wait,
No,
okay.
no, not
Because
at
I just
all.
like
I'm so
don't always know
no, no, no,
when
no.
it's
I'm
like,
so I'm so curious and interested, and I think that's such a good point. Like, and I'm like making a mental note for myself that once we're not recording, I want to like get more information from you,
absolutely, yeah,
because I do think it is something I want to try.
yeah.
Um,
I can recommend. My therapist at the LGBT center does EMDR, and I
Okay.
can recommend
That's
her.
also
She's
good to
awesome.
know
Yeah,
because yeah, I want to be able to use resources like that as
yeah,
well that are specific to our community. Like
yes.
that is so important. I feel like so much of the grief of like just growing more into yourself as you get older is under realizing how much you didn't know yourself. And that can
Mm-hmm.
be both from like what you uncover in something like
Mm-hmm.
EMDR, but also just in your queerness and being the fullest version of your queerest fucking self. So
Absolutely.
shout out to the LGBT
Yeah.
Center.
Yeah. Major plug for the LGBT Center. If you live in LA or SoCal and don't already know, the LA LGBT Center, despite everything happening on a federal level, they, as a community health clinic, will provide services irrespective of whether or not you have insurance or are able to pay. Like if you need therapy, if you need psychiatry or a physical health checkup, go to, you can get processed online or by calling, but the fastest way to like get in the system and get booked, and get off a waiting list to see a therapist or there or whatever, is to just go in person to
Mm.
their location in Hollywood or West Hollywood and just like go there during business hours, walk up to the desk and say, "Hey, I need help."
Yeah.
And they will point you in the right direction, have you fill out some paperwork. And even if you don't have insurance, they will see you free of
So
charge.
amazing to know. It also
Yeah.
makes it even more infuriating when you think about the evil motherfuckers who are trying to defund all these things. Where I'm like, two of the most incredible places that provide services, regardless of your insurance or whatever you
Mhm.
can afford, would be the LGBT Center and also Planned
Planned
Parenthood.
Parenthood. Yeah.
Like I've had an incredible experiences at Planned Parenthood. They're very gender inclusive and like conscious, and they're also like they're providing very necessary services to people with uteruses in terms of getting their pap smears and getting, just all of the kind of sexual health checkups you would need, STD tests, everything. That's the majority of what they do.
Yeah.
And fuck the government,
Yep. That part.
essentially. But also I've heard really great things from the LGBT Center about their like harm reduction groups and stuff like that
Yes.
too. They provide so many incredible and necessary services. So just
And
in
a
case
lot
you're
of,
unaware,
yeah.
listen to us and go check them
Yeah,
out.
go check them out. A lot of them are also like available online. I see my therapist through Zoom because I live far from Hollywood.
Yeah.
When I did EMDR with her, I went in person for a few months just
Yeah.
for that. But like for regular talk therapy sessions,
Yeah,
yeah,
just Zoom. I do
yeah,
that telehealth stuff too. My
yeah,
therapist and I are on not Zoom, but like a version of it.
yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything that you would consider to be a weird coping mechanism and or just like a go-to coping mechanism for you when you're going through it or you're feeling stressed or anything you maybe would recommend to the folks listening?
Well, those are two very different questions.
Definitely very
Do I
different
have
things.
coping mechanisms and do I have things I would recommend? God, what is the overlap of that Venn
There doesn't have to
diagram?
be one, and you
Yeah.
can answer them as two different questions.
um, Gosh, I uh, I think yeah, like kind of what I feel you on, like part of growing older is kind of like settling into who you are and who you've always been, but also I feel like allowing yourself to be humbled by the fact that self-discovery and individuation is a lifelong process.
Yeah,
We never finish figuring out who we are, discovering who we are,
totally.
um and I never finish discovering different ways that I can dissociate. Like there are 12-step programs that don't even exist yet and that I am not qualified for yet, but probably will be someday. Variety is the spice of life.
Yeah, so
And
true.
I don't know. I like to keep it interesting. I mean, the last 2 years I was working 3 jobs between school and trainee therapy stuff, and then like house sitting, dog sitting, cat sitting, and yeah, just like zoning out watching TV is a big one for me, and playing
Yeah.
video games. I'm a
Okay.
big gamer
Gamer. Oh
girl,
my
not to
God.
brag, but
Gamer girl, do you have a
I'm kind
Twitch
of a
channel? Are you gonna get on
gamer.
Twitch? Are you gonna
No,
live stream?
I don't. I'm like I think I'm a gamer in the purest sense, which is that I don't like playing multiplayer games. I like playing like a role-playing game that's single player that is like 160 hours long with like side quests you can get lost in for days and just holding up somewhere and not talking to the outside world.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm such a like dip into video games kind of girly. Like sometimes I'm really into it, and so then like I'm very like ADHD, and that something will have my full interest for like a time, and then I'm
Mm.
like, and goodbye for the next 2 years because I'm doing something else. And video games have
Listen,
been
casual gaming is valid.
casual gaming's
Your casual
valid.
gaming
Thank
tea is
you.
valid.
Thank you. I did when I was dating my first boyfriend, he got me into I played the only video game I played was a Walking Dead video game. So I was just killing
Hmm.
zombies. But it was also great
Was it
storytelling,
the
beautiful,
point and
emotional.
click adventure one, like the episodic, like Walking Dead?
I don't.
story-based one where
It's
there's
one where you're like choosing the response, and that
right.
will
Yeah, yeah.
determine the
I
way it
played that
goes.
one.
Yeah. So that I had fun with, and then unfortunately a Harry Potter game, which fuck J.K. Rowling, and she does not get anything from me anymore.
Oh,
But I did play a Harry Potter video
listen,
game.
we've all been there.
Yeah, and I found like it was one of those things where, it was easy to write off when like my boyfriend at the time would just be like playing video games for hours, and I'd be like, "Ugh, come on, let's do something else." But
Mhm.
then once I was playing, I was like, "Okay, I see how it actually is very mentally stimulating
Yes.
to play video games and have to like figure out how to do things and have to like figure out what the world is like and go on all these little side quests to just like be anyway, there's value in it,
Yeah.
and that's my 2 cents. Uh, Shout out to casual video gaming and
Yeah.
also
And
being a
hardcore
hardcore
gaming
video game
too.
girly. And I'm just so it's so funny to me that like some of the most successful streamers or whatever, or like, content creators are people who are just live streaming themselves playing video games,
Yeah.
and people are so fucking into that.
Yeah.
It's wild. I'm like,
Hey,
should I get really good at video
it's
games and just
never
start
too late.
live streaming?
Listen, there's a market for, there's a niche for people who are very bad at video
Oh,
games live
nice.
streaming them. I'm assuming
That's
there's,
so funny.
I'm very much of the like, again, it's not a social thing for me. It's I want to escape into this and leave me alone while I'm like exploring this other world.
Yeah.
But so many people do, there is this like, people like watching other people play games,
Yeah.
and people like watching other people do
So many
so many
things.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. Almost like we're a social species who need each other.
Almost
Hmm.
like we're living in a panopticon prison of
Of weird individuality that just should have never been the way it is.
yeah.
So fucking weird. Okay. And to round us out, one final question for you. And this is also going to be kind of a choose your own adventure. Speaking of video games, you can choose to answer all of them or just
Okay.
one of them.
Okay.
It's kind of like a and or question, something that you would consider to be your most problematic opinion that you're willing to admit on a public podcast, and or something that you or and or problematic behavior that you engage in when you're going through it that you're willing to admit, and or outside of whatever the coping mechanism video game stuff, or just something you generally want to like pop the fuck off about and let the people know that you've had enough.
Yeah, um uh, I guess my most quote unquote problematic hot take is well, I have two that come to mind. One is just I don't think it's problematic. I think it's actually quite uninteresting but deeply true, which is just like social media is over.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like we there's it's cooked. There's no if unless you are on there's no reason to be on social media unless you are resource sharing, or in my opinion the only like ex- existing like authentic expression of joy and humor online that I can tolerate, which is just people doing and saying things in like a fake Australian accent. Nar,
Nar.
which is like the only like pure expression of joy I think
That's
that
so
exists
funny.
anymore. But like other than that, like it like it's there's nothing cool on social media. There's nothing interesting or funny, and everyone needs to go outside and touch grass. And I'm
Yeah.
an indoor kid, as I just established.
Yeah.
But like I just online discourse is an oxymoron. That's
Yes.
not a thing.
Yeah.
We don't the content creation model is not uh it's antithetical to actually having dialogue,
Yeah.
and I'm so I'm s- I cannot deal with I can't deal with the infighting and like the performative allyship, and it's all just like everyone shut up,
Yeah.
go outside,
Yeah.
touch some
Touch
grass,
some grass, be in community.
be in community.
I agree with you. And it sucks because it's like social media is definitely cooked, and I'm feeling it more than ever because I'm more online than ever in the context of just trying to like promote the podcast and post clips from it to be like,
Which I
here's
would
this thing
argue
I'm
is
doing.
resource sharing.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. And I agree, but it is also still like at the end of the day, there's so many fucking bots and trolls and the online. And I agree with everything you just said of like everyone needs to just be outside and be less on their phones and more in community and just like doing real world things.
Yeah. It's yeah. I pretty much stayed off of social media while I was in grad school,
Yeah.
and now that I have a little bit more free time, I'm like dipping back in the waters, and just every time I start to be like, why do I feel so annoyed right now? It's like, oh, because I'm like getting sucked into this app that is like warping my brain and
Yep.
like perception of other people, and like creating this illusion of dialogue that isn't real.
Yeah,
It's
it's exhausting and it's confusing. And that's the other thing too, like in the wake of just all the crazy news that has been happening, both it's just balance of like trying to stay informed and know what's happening to both eh, contribute in helping where I can and also to just be aware of what's coming or what's happening in a way that I think is important for people to be informed, but also because we can't trust the mainstream media because it's owned by all the billionaires. And so that's the one thing too in this past week that's been so tough is I've been more sucked in than ever because of the Epstein file
hmm
stuff and obviously the continued terror of ICE and all of the terrible things that are happening. It's so easy to doom scroll and get
yeah,
sucked in and be like, well,
it's
how do I stay
triggering.
the most informed and what do I do to help and and how do I
Yeah.
share to make other people to know what's going on? And it's just this like fucking storm of shit. And so I've been getting more and more like on threads to be reading all like these
Mm-hmm.
things about the Epstein files, and it's just like last night I was like, I can't
Yep.
do this. And
Mm-hmm.
I was really looking forward to. I had a night. I went out. I went to stud country. I went dancing with my friends. I did not look at
Excellent.
my phone at all for like 5 or 6 hours, and it was I got in my car and I was like,
Wonderful.
"Oh, I feel good
Mm.
because I haven't been doom
Yeah.
scrolling for
Yeah.
the entire evening that I
Yeah.
would otherwise possibly be doing if I was just sitting at home."
Absolutely.
Be in community, touch grass, be around queer people because it's the best.
Yes, be around queer people. And to that point, my other problematic hot take uh is until trans people's rights are enshrined in the Constitution or legislation, cisgender gay men, we should be allowed to bully them.
Yes, 100%.
I think that like in this political climate, especially now that like the Supreme Court has walked back their gesturing towards like rethinking Obergefell and gay marriage, like now that we know that they're not going to go after gay marriage, it's just cis gay men have never been um more courted by the right,
Yes.
and they've never had less to lose. And um I honestly am just kind of like, it not only should they be allowed to be bullied, but like if you are a gay man in 2026 and you identify as an ally, you need to be eating pussy. Why are you as a
Let's
gay
go.
man
Not eating
not
pussy.
eating pussy?
Thank
Ask
you.
not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for cunt. Are you eating it? Are you serving it? Are you celebrating it? Because if you're
Hey,
not, you're a
if you're
terrorist.
not doing one of those things, you are a
You're a
terrorist. You've heard
terrorist.
it here first, and that is absolute fact. And
Yeah.
I'm with you there. I'm in full agreement with you. I also need to just, for the record, also to piggyback off that, not only should you, I mean, that's the bare minimum. Yes, you should be either serving or praising or eating pussy, cunt, whatever. Um,
Pussy, whatever.
but what I really need you to stop fucking doing is going, oh, pussy's so
Oh
disgusting.
my
Oh my
God.
God.
If you're one,
If
if,
you're like, fuck off, because all that is misogyny.
yep,
It's misogyny. It's rooted in this male supremacy and thinking that women's pussies are somehow gross. I'm like, bitch, fuck off. That is the reason you are alive.
right.
And also, It's amazing.
Yeah.
I can say for the record, I've been all up in there. It's great. And I was really resentful. After the first time I went down on a woman or a pussy, I was like, oh,
Disembodied
what in
vagina.
the fuck is, yeah, just me and my little pocket pussy.
Don't get me wrong. I fully support discriminating against women, just not vaginas. Let me
Yes.
clarify.
Thank you.
Yeah.
1000%. How dare you?
Also, there's nothing more heterosexual than being disgusted by and in like inadequate at knowing how to service a vagina.
Yeah, it's just like it's not
Get with the times.
hey, how about get curious, have a little fun, get into exploring. Cis men, you love to talk about how you're the explorers and discoverers of the world, huh?
Yeah.
How about you discover how to eat some pussy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you heard it here.
You heard it here first.
And that's that. And that's that on that. Period. Oh my God. Okay. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me today, Lena. It's been so lovely to see you.
Likewise.
I'm so happy you reached out. Please, let's go and shout out. Well, this show will have already happened by the time this episode comes out, but we're going to go see Cameron Farmer's show.
Yes.
I'm saying it now and I'm claiming it now.
Manifesting, claiming.
Yes.
And
anything you want to plug before we sign off?
If you are a transgender, expansive, or intersex person in the state of California, check out the Transgender Health and Wellness Center at www.trans.health. We offer free therapy. There's a wait list, but it's a wonderful organization that offers free therapy to people in the state of California. And also, I'll post a link to my GoFundMe, which is an ongoing GoFundMe for upcoming gender affirming surgeries. I have my FFS consultation scheduled for June.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Probably gonna need some extra help while they break my face into a new face. And
so valid.
It's so fucking valid.
Yeah, it's so valid. So donate to, if you got it like that, or even if you have $5 to spare, donate to Lena's GoFundMe, www.gofundme.com/Lena for the number 4 liberation. Oh my God. And you can find her online at Flop Heiress,
heir to the mayonnaise dynasty, but heiress. So it's
Yes.
FLOP_heiress, like flop era, but
yes,
inheriting the flop.
I love hearing the story behind people's Instagram handles.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Trauma Bond with Theresa Bateman. This podcast is hosted, created, and edited by me, Theresa Bateman, produced by Ali Giordani. Our perfect theme song is written and performed by Tolliver. We are an independent podcast, so if you like what you hear, please leave us a 5-star review. It really helps. And you can also join us as a paid subscriber on Substack for any exclusive bonus content, or if you just want to support the podcast and what we do. Bye!
And light another dude, cause it's what? It's time to trauma bond, 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 bond. It's time to trauma bond, 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 bond. It's time to trauma bond, 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 bond. It's time to trauma bond, 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 bond. Them boys, they love the trauma. Them girls, they love the drama. NB just slapped my mama. Oh God, here comes the karma. Let's go. It's time to trauma bond, 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 bond. It's time to trauma bond, 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 bond. It's time to trauma bond, 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 bond. It's time to trauma bond, bond, bond,